Hello, this is Miss Pat from San Luis Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to learn about simple machines, specifically the Archimedes screw. Our book this week is called Rosie Revere, Engineer by Andrea Beatty. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In my library's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. When no one saw her, she peeked in the class, her treasures to add to her engineer stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines, or under the bed, where they'd never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye, and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. The uncle she loved most was zookeeper Fred. He made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, and parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, for Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Truly I do. Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day kept her dreams to herself. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great Aunt Rose was a true dynamo who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thing left on my list is to fly. The time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dream. That night, as Rosie laid wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, No, not I. The questions are tricky and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test, just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The helio cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned around to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere. She thought, no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer. She turned round to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie, and pulled her in close, and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. This great flop is over. It's time for the next. Aunt Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheese copter crashed. Yes, said her great aunt, it crashed. That's true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next. He handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rosie tied her scarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Looks like she got her aunt up in the sky. So let's find out about simple machines. What are they? Right? Do we use them? And we do. We use a lot of things, and I bet you didn't even think of them as machines. You probably think of wires and stuff as machines. Simple machines are just things that make work easier. Right? They have few or no moving parts, and they work by changing the direction of force or the amount of force needed to do something. Okay, so here's an inclined plane. You probably think of them as ramps, okay, or even door stoppers. A wedge could be an axe, right? A lever, this isn't a seesaw. That's like a hammer trying to lever out the nail. A wheel and axle is not just cars on the wheels on the cars and the trucks. Doorknobs, they also have wheels and axles, and we use those all the time. So a screw isn't just a fancy type of nail, right? We screw on lids, don't we? We're going to build a machine today that's going to move cereal, and it's going to look like a screw, right? And then there's the pulley. It's not just picking up the bucket with your hand. Sometimes it's easier to do it with a couple of extra things. Makes it a lot easier to move. So the Archimedes screw is also known as the water screw, and it's one of the earliest machines used for moving water from a low area to a higher area. Okay, and that's what this is. It's moving it from down here up. It's a lot easier than trying to fill a bucket and moving it up, isn't it? And the purpose is just that. It was to make it easier to move water. Instead of doing it by buckets, right, they turned a screw-shaped surface inside a circular pipe. And as the screw turned, the material was forced up the pipe and it came out. And that was a lot easier, and they got a lot more water, and they didn't have to keep moving. Right. It's named after the Greek philosopher and mathematician Archimedes, who first described it after he visited ancient Egypt. He saw them using it for irrigation. Irrigation means they move the water from the river to where their farms are. And that's what they were doing. They were using the screw to move the water instead of buckets. And because he described it, some people thought he invented it. Right? He did like it, and he did bring the idea back, but he was not the one that came up with it. It is, however, named after him. We are still using these today. Whoops. Back too far. So let me go back one more. We are still using these things today. Snow plows, not plows, snow blowers still have those things. And it's not going to let me go back. So I am sorry. Machines, when you guys go to water parks, there it is. When you guys go to water parks, nope, it's still gonna go. That thing that brings your tube all the way up before it slides down into the water slides, that would be an Archimedes screw. Right? Look at the bottom of a snow blower. It has a screw, just like these, which is what we're going to make today, these things. Now, we're not going to move water or snow because we're going to be making ours out of paper and cardboard. That's not going to last very long. We're going to put them inside a soda bottle. Okay, and then we're going to move cereal with them. So if you come to Science Scouts, or if you want to look it up online, it's called Little Bins for Little Hands. Right? It's an engineered screw, gives you the directions, gives you the pictures. More importantly, it gives you the template. Okay, and templates do need to be cut out. Maybe somebody can cut them apart for you, and then you need to cut them out. And they also need to have the middle part. And so you're going to cut up this dark line here, and you're going to cut out the inside. Then what you're going to need to do is take them. Now I'm going to take this side, and I'm going to tape it to this side of the next one. Okay? And I have to tape it on both sides. I have to tape it on this and on this side. And then when I do, it's going to kind of be like a spring. And I have to do that with all of them. Really, you only have to do it with about 6. I'm going to give you 9, but you only have to do it with about 6. Now, also attached to this paper, there's a blank sheet of zero paper, okay, computer paper. Roll it up. That's all this is. It's not a telescope, or it could be, right? Roll it up, tape it down the sides, and the reason you're going to have that is it's going to fit right through. So remember, you're going to have all these things taped, okay? Which means that they're all going to pull down all along here. So this one's already done. Okay. Big thing is to make sure you tape the ends. And I taped it really good here just to let you see that I have the ends taped. Because we're going to be turning this. This looks like a screw. This is just made out of paper. Really, poster board is kind of what this part is. Okay. But remember, all I did was tape one to the next, one to the next, all the way down. Then I took a soda bottle. You can do it with a water bottle. Take off the bottom, take off the top. And then what you need to do here, all right, if you can see, I kind of cut out a hole right there. All right. So, it's really hard to see. It's just a little hole. And the reason is, I'm going to put this in through the bottom. And then I have my hole right here. Now, you can try this with sand. I'm going to do it with cereal. Here's my hole up on top. I'm just putting cereal in this end. Okay, none down here, right? So now watch. Right, I'm holding the bottle, but I'm going to start turning this. And what's happening? My screw just took out all of the cereal. Okay? And like I said, you can do that with candy, you could do it with cereal, you can do it with sand, maybe little pebbles. Don't try mashed potatoes, they don't work. Don't try, oh, you could try popcorn, but don't try cooked corn. That won't work either. Right? Hope you guys have fun learning about simple machines. Next week, we're going to learn about volume.